K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we're expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at advertise@k98talk.org. K98talk.com, a leader in internet radio. So grab your seatbelts and take the ride of your life on K98talk.com. K98 Talk is expanding its lineup.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Game on, where progressives fear us and rhinos tremble. Welcome to the political jungle. I'm JD.
This is Stacey. No one is safe. No one is spared.
Lock up the children.
And the old folk.
Welcome to the world of liberservative conservatarians.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday, post-debate day, September 17th, 2015. As you guys all know, JD's not here with us this evening. Tonight I have Rick with us, great station manager here at K98talk.com. We're going to have a little bit of fun at JD's expense and then move on to some more serious topics. But first thing I want to do this evening, wow, the meds are kicking in, is I want to give a big shout out to one of our greatest listeners, good friend of the show, and somebody we can always count on for a good giggle and chat, and that's Michelle. She's having a happy, happy, happy birthday tomorrow. So, Michelle, enjoy, and we'll be thinking about you. Hey, Rick, how are you today?
Hey, Miss Stacey, not too bad. How are you?
I almost sound like I have energy. It's kind of scary.
Well, you said yourself the meds are kicking in. I'm just mad you didn't share.
Yeah, well, the next time I get rear-ended by a semi-truck, maybe you can be in the passenger seat and we can suffer together. But because that idiot rear-ended and totaled my car, and I'm still home recovering, our good friend JD, did you hear? Rick is out in California.
Yeah, I've heard. Not only have I heard, he sent me the pictures of his freaking suite in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, I know. Can you believe that? People are actually paying for him to stay in that?
I know, right?
He must make that company a ton of money. That's all I'm saying. But
they must not know what we know. I'm just saying.
He must not. They know something we don't. But as promised, JD is hanging out with another great friend of the show, Michael Loftus. And as of last night, and potentially as we speak, our good friend Game On JD, who was supposed to be Michael's guest at the taping, is actually going to be Michael's guest on the stage. So that's right, folks. Our own JD from JD and Stacey is going to be Michael Loftus's guest on an episode of The Flip Side, and that one should be airing next week. So if you don't know where the Flip Side plays, please go to theflipsideshow.com and go to the channel finder, and you can find where it will be playing in your area so that you can set the DVR and watch your own JD on Michael's show. And then the next show we have, y'all can mock him in chat. It'll be great.
So speaking of mocking him in chat, Trigger, I know you're in chat. I am afraid that JD may have officially gone Hollywood. We may have to enact Plan B, brother. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I got some weird text late last night about a tattoo parlor in Miley Cyrus. I still don't have the whole story, but apparently some of the people he hangs with decided midnight is a really good time in LA to get a tattoo, and as they were finishing up, Miley Cyrus walked in.
Dude, wait. He texted me about that. He promised me he was kidding. Please tell me he did not get the Wrecking Ball tattoo. Please tell me he did not.
No, he got Game On tattooed right where you get the tramp stamp, there in your lower back. Our very own JD now has a tramp stamp that says JD and Stacey, K98talk.com.
I almost wish you would have told me he got the Wrecking Ball. Oh my God.
I'm kidding. He was an observer, not a participant.
Well, yeah, I figured as much, but we had to milk it for as long as I could. I mean,
I know.
Because he's going to hear this later, because, right now he's like all busy, but he'll listen to it later, and then he's going to want to kill both of us, which makes it even more fun. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know, but, and I heard he sent you a special little assistant to help us through the show tonight.
Well, I'm not sure. He sent me a box. Hang on, I figured I'd open it on the air. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can find it. I know it's around here somewhere. Where did you go? Where are you? Hang on a second. I gotta grab it here. Okay, so let's get it. Wait, there we go. Now we're opening it up. Wait, why does this box have holes on it? JD, what did you... What? Oh my God. There is a monkey in this box. JD, what did you do? Man... Okay, just because they were joking last week about sending Host Monkey, why did you literally send me Host Monkey? Hey, you, no, get away from that. Don't, what are you doing? What are you doing? No, what are you doing? Come on, man, don't do it. Don't do it. No! You have any idea how expensive that is? Hey, you, over there, get him out of here. Come on.
Good God.
Okay.
Now you guys know the real reason for our technical difficulties. I know JD likes to blame it on me. There it is.
Host Monkey is real.
The Host Monkey is real.
Dude, that was like a $2,000 television. I'm going to cry.
You have a $2,000 television? Will you adopt me?
No. See, the operative word there is I had a $2,000 television. At least as far as the insurance company knows. And now there's a recording stating the dollar value.
Does homeowners cover the Host Monkey?
It does now, because they won't know the Host Monkey.
Anyway, so we had a little bit of fun on America Off the Rails yesterday, anticipating what was going to go on in the debate last night.
Anticipate? Hell, we called it.
I actually had to abandon the drinking game in the first 20 minutes, or I never would have made it through the whole debate. But, it was kind of as billed the evening of Donald, but I would hesitate to say that Donald Trump really came out of that looking very good.
Yeah, I kind of just, I think it'll take a few more debates, honestly, because he still has the diehard supporters. But I think people are finally starting to get tired of his Nike slogan approach to policy.
Well, I know, a couple of things that came out of that debate I found very interesting. First, I thought Jeb Bush kind of stepped up to the plate a little bit. Dude. Not a Jeb fan, not going to vote for him. But he took Donald Trump to task for trying to get casino gambling there in Florida. Denied it, doubled down on denying it, and I must have seen 7 articles today talking to people who worked for Donald Trump in Florida trying to achieve permission for casino gaming.
Yeah. Did it honestly look like there at one point that Jeb was contemplating slugging the Donald?
I think the most upset I saw Jeb Bush, and I think Marco Rubio really covered it. was when Donald Trump started attacking both of them for speaking in Spanish, and was particularly less than classy about Jeb Bush's wife. Now, Donald, glass houses, stones, whole deal. You've had 3 of them, and this one's a real peach if people want to start picking her apart. But when Jeb asked for an apology, Donald refused it, and I just thought that was such a low-class move. I was like, really? Seriously? We're going to start picking on the spouses here? I mean, Jeb Bush and his wife, I think her name is Columba, have been married for what, almost 35 years?
Yeah, it's been a while, and the thing that Donald likes to leave out of that discussion is, if memory serves, I'm pretty sure she's here legally.
Oh, no, she's definitely here legally. But his comments had more to do with the fact that Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio will speak Spanish to Spanish-speaking audiences. I think the exact tweet, he's changed his vernacular to say we need to speak English in America, which I do agree with. If you really want to come here and work and have your children function well in society, you do need to learn English. I mean, you can live in a predominantly Spanish-speaking community, but if you're going to venture out of that too much, you've got to speak the language that business is done in. But I thought Rubio had a really good point, and the reason that he chooses to speak Spanish to Spanish-speaking audiences is because he does not want someone translating his words. Because even good translators can lose intent, I guess is the best way to put it. And this is one of the struggles I found in international business. But, not intentionally, but they can lose some of the message in the translation. So he wants Spanish-speaking audiences and folks that may tune into Univision, which is definitely, again, a demographic we need to be reaching out to, to be able to hear his words the way he would like to say them. And, Jeb Bush kind of echoed that. And I think, the way Donald approached that, first of all, when he was tweeting things out, he said, everybody, we have a language in this country and it's called American. I just almost fell out of my chair laughing when I saw that. But he is insistent on this whole idea of a national language, which, oh, by the way, the United States of America doesn't have.
I mean, I don't know. People are going to probably want to yank my conservative card for this, but do we really have to have a national language when up until now ours has been one of the most spoken languages around the world anyway?
Exactly. But the other thing that's really interesting, if you do international business and you do, try to, for purposeful reasons, interact with people in other countries, most of my business associates in Europe and Brazil spoke at least 2 languages.
See, I told you somebody was going to want to yank it. Heavens is already calling for my conservative card.
Your conservative card?
Yeah. When I said somebody was going to yank it because I didn't think we needed a national language, he was the first one to pipe up and say, hand it over, Rick.
Hand it over, Rick. But I mean, I actually think that you are a much more savvy global citizen if you're multilingual. I'm not. And I think I actually view it as it was actually a hindrance to me in my business career, as I looked at global assignments and other things, because I didn't. So, I think taking people to task for being able to communicate in multiple languages is kind of a poor point. And certainly talking about Jeb Bush's wife, very poor point.
Well, I mean, let's face it. Has he honestly made any good points recently?
Well, no, I actually thought, and it got, to me, number one, it got cheesy towards the end, like seriously cheesy. I was pretty, for the overall debate structure, I think the Fox News folks did a better job of keeping people on task. I think a couple times Jake Tapper was really, really pointed about, well, that's not the question I asked you. Here's what I actually asked you. And he did maybe a better job than the Fox folks did at really pinning people down when he wanted an answer on a particular topic. But he also didn't give a lot of opportunity to either Hugh Hewitt or Dana Bash to ask any questions.
Yeah, I noticed that. It was like it was all him for like 3.5 hours, other than like once or twice. I was like, really?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was very strange because I was actually very much looking forward to Hugh Hewitt being part of that panel and asking some really solid foreign policy questions.
All right, so I asked this on my earlier show when I had Patrick on with me. First impressions, who do you think did the best last night?
I don't come out with like a winner out of 11. I think that's pretty hard. As far as people who made a positive impression with me, I would say Marco Rubio. I thought he was much better in this debate than the other debate. And his answers were very solid, and he took people to task on things like foreign policy, and I hadn't heard him speak as much on foreign policy as domestic policy. So that was new information for me. I think Ted Cruz did okay. I just had a moment of near vomitus when he thanked Donald Trump for bringing immigration to the forefront. Again, I don't know that I heard as much as I would have liked to, being that he's currently in second place, but I thought Ben Carson handled himself very well. And even in light of some of the personal attacks, that kind of went back and forth between he and Donald Trump earlier in the week, I thought he maintained his sense of humor, and he was very much himself, in that he's generally very positive and very approachable. And I also think Carly Fiorina showed that she belonged on that stage. I think she held her own very, very well.
Yeah, I don't really know if there was a hands down winner in my book. I will say that I think Fiorina proved herself, especially since this was her first time in the adult debate, so to speak. I think she did really well. I think I liked the fact that not only did she have answers, but they were cogent answers. I actually, in the drive home, heard somebody pointing out that they thought that the reason that she had cogent answers was because she'd hired all these different policy experts and everything else. And then, of course, he went back to, but Donald is authentic. I'm like, dude, if you think that she went through all of that, then you don't know her at all and need to shut your mouth.
Well, and it's not just that. People forget, and she does not flaunt it, that she was a civilian consultant to the Department of Homeland Security and the CIA. People forget she was the CEO of a global company. She has operated, done work, and managed a global charity, a global women's charity, for years. I mean, she was the executive director of a global women's charity to give small funds for business. I think people forget those things about her. They don't give her credit for them. But the other thing people don't necessarily understand is that her account, or her campaign is not heavily staffed at all. She writes her own speeches. I mean, she's done some fundraising, but she is not staffed to the level of a Ted Cruz or a Rand Paul. She doesn't have that kind of organization at all. I mean, there's actually been a couple of articles written about the staff she doesn't have. And I will also say this. She gave some of the most specific answers about how she would deal with energizing and re-upping our military of anyone on that stage.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I liked. She actually took the time to explain the things that she would do given the scenario questions that she was asked. So she is the one that I think stood out to me the most. I kind of disagree with Carson. For the first time, I kind of felt he was a little flat. I liked him much better in the first round of debates. The other one I think that stood out...
he got a jab or two in at the end.
Yeah, I know. And by then I was kind of dozing off, so I probably missed it. I may have to go back and watch again. But the other one that stood out to me most of all, I think, was Rubio. There's just something about Cruz, and I don't know what it is, but even my wife pointed it out, and I'd never really been able to put my finger on it. There's something about him that just drives her crazy. Like, I'm not even kidding. When we did the break between the shows, we actually started watching some of the debate together, and she had picked up her phone because she'd lost interest, and Cruz started talking, and she set her phone down and said, "There's just something about him that reminds me of a car salesman." I'm like, I don't know. Never thought about it, but he is kind of smooth.
Well,
so.
maybe his hair. But, to me, number one, Cruz was definitely playing to the camera. He never addressed the person he was speaking to. He always looked directly into the camera as if he was addressing the audience at home, where you actually saw Donald Trump and Jeb Bush or Carly Fiorina and Chris Christie actually look at each other while they were talking. So that, to me, seemed a little unnatural. I think, bar none, Ted Cruz is one of the most articulate, intelligent, constitutional scholars in the country. He understands it. He can articulate it well. I was actually surprised that he didn't jump into the debate about the 14th Amendment.
Yeah, I have to admit I was a little surprised he didn't do that either. But
well, I mean, I honestly, if I'm thinking about a debate structure and questions I would have liked him to weigh in on, that really would have been one of them. But I think he's very reticent to take a position that might be in opposition to Donald Trump.
You know, you're not the first person to point that out, and I honestly think at this point he's kind of hedging his bets a little bit. And we talked about that a little bit yesterday because when Beck invited Cruz to a rally, Cruz made sure that Trump knew about the rally and was there as well, and Beck was not a happy camper. And Cruz basically just said, look, at this point, we're all kind of in this together, and we may disagree, but he's still on my team, and I'm just kind of thinking, is he already kind of trying to figure out which one of them is going to take the second seat at this point? Or
well, it's really funny because Trump supporters call Cruz his VP, and I'm just like, I can't even imagine. But his campaign literature has been very upfront, or his campaign sources, right, have been very upfront that he's hedging his bet that Donald's plurality, or at least some of the folks in that plurality, would move over to him should Donald leave the race. And I don't know at this point that, especially after the comment, I would like to thank Donald Trump for bringing immigration and this issue to the forefront of this debate. Being that explicit about it in that forum, A, made him look like a vice president, not a president. And B, I think it might have alienated some of the people who like him, but aren't 100% sold on him. It made him look second fiddle to somebody that, at least 68% of the Republican Party isn't in love with at this point.
See, my biggest thing with Trump is, yeah, he's brought a lot of attention. He's brought people into the debates that probably hadn't paid attention to them in the past. But if and when he goes home, most of that goes with him.
And I think again, I don't like to credit, because I do spend so much time on social media, talking about politics and other things. And I understand, there's some of us that are not what I would consider fringe. I don't consider myself a complete right-wing nut job. Other people may disagree, but you see a lot of fringe on places like Facebook and Twitter. When you start getting into the political realm, I'm not talking about the people that chat about music and their kids and stuff like this, but when you get into politics, both of those forums are full of the far, far left and the far, far right. So any degrees to which you're not in one of those camps, makes you a little bit different. So, when I'm talking to people about Donald Trump and, on Facebook and Twitter, I basically see two types. I see people that I would not invite into my home. I think they're terrible people. I think, they're just awful. A lot of them talk about, white lives matter and white supremacy and nativism and how our founders intended this to be a white country. And I don't hear that coming out of Donald's mouth. I think he opened the door to it with the comments about Mexico in his original announce. But I see those folks, and then I see some other folks, blue collar, workers, people who might have manufacturing jobs in their family, watched family members lose jobs as jobs went overseas, and other things. And I think the folks that are what I would consider extremist supporters of Donald Trump, I don't think they'll go into any other camp because I think they're insane. The other folks, I'm not so sure. I think enough is getting out in terms of messaging and alternatives to some of what Donald says about immigration that I think they may find another home.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying they're all going to go home, but the crazy ones, yeah, they're probably going to.
Rick, here's my thing. I don't want those crazy ones anyway. They are every meme about the Republican Party that we have been fighting since 2008. They're horrible.
Not disagreeing with you.
They're horrible. And they're like gremlins. I think they eat Cheetos, play Call of Duty, and drink Red Bull after midnight, and they just multiply. They start making hundreds of Twitter.
Wait, would that make them
accounts.
gremlins
Really
or
quite
baby's
frightening.
kids?
Gremlins are what?
Baby's kids. Because they don't die, they multiply.
I don't know. I just remember that movie when they'd get water on them, or
Yeah.
they'd get fed after midnight. That's what the people behind those accounts remind me of. They're awful. But and then I think post debate, I think maybe Ann Coulter had a little bit of a hard day today.
Oh God, I cannot believe some of the things that were on her Twitter feed, and then she tried to take them down. I'm like, really? Do you not?
Oh no, we screen capped them all. She's vile.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying.
And Laura Ingraham is like cruising up to a very close second. Somebody actually said to me today that Laura Ingraham is Ann Coulter after a nap and a sandwich.
See, that's the thing,
I thought that was great.
Yeah, I don't know. My thing with all of it is, I understand that, being what some folks would call a polemic is what sells in this line of work. But there comes a time when you've listened to your own brand for far too long, and Ann Coulter has reached that point.
Oh no, she has reached like just peak vile. As if Donald Trump performing late-term abortions in the White House was not bad enough. Last night, she went after Jewish people. Her timeline last night was so anti-Semitic. I'm like, oh my God.
That stuff drives me crazy because most of the people that I know that are conservatives are the ones that are like, look, we're not the racist. And then all of a sudden you have someone who has thousands of people that pay attention to them spouting Jewish hatred crap on their Twitter feed. I'm just like, really? Really?
Thank you very much. Thank you for helping us out with that one. And the ridiculous part is at this point, the Republican Party is more supportive of Israel than the Democratic Party.
Not only that, but take a look at who's running on the other side of the aisle. I thought we were supposed to be the old cranky white folks crowd.
Oh yeah, but I mean, come on. When you looked at that debate stage full of 11 candidates, and you looked at the relative diversity on that stage, we have a woman, we have an African American, we have two gentlemen of Latino descent, all of whom are exceptionally smart, exceptionally accomplished.
And then there's Christie.
That makes me proud to be a conservative. It seriously does, because it destroys every ugly thing they try to throw at us.
Well, yeah, and that's my point. That debate stage put every evil, vile thing that has ever been said about the Republican Party to rest, and then Ann Coulter reared her ugly head.
Thanks, Ann. I didn't like you before. I really don't like you now.
I don't even know. I mean, how do people like Sean Hannity and all these other people even have her on TV anymore? Because you know that they interact with her behind the scenes. And you know if she's that vile on somewhere like social media, how she's got to be in person.
It was actually funny because I was talking to one of my connections in the political sphere, and there was a meeting recently last week in St. Louis called the Eagle Forum that's run by Phyllis Schlafly. I always say her name wrong. You guys know who I'm talking about. And Ann Coulter was speaking on Friday night. So originally I was slated to go to this conference, but seeing as I can't sit in a car for more than 20 minutes without, losing all feeling in my legs, I decided probably not a good idea to get on a plane. And he was saying, oh, yeah, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it because they've got Coulter speaking on Friday night. We're skipping her and going for a steak dinner. It's
Nice.
like even within the movement, people just aren't buying her anymore. She's become just so... you read her timeline and it's like, really? Did you just say that out loud? Do you really think that? I mean, she is the epitome of a one-issue Laura Ingraham.
This is all I have to say about Ann Coulter.
Okay, terrific.
Ugh.
Pretty much. All right, so
Pretty
at
much.
this point, you guys usually take breaks like 10 minutes ago, and I just realized that. So I think we probably need to take a break now.
All right. Well, we'll be back in about 2.5.
As soon as I can find the right button. Here we go.
Hey folks, Slickery Trigger here. I'd like to take a minute to tell you about Rebel Road Tactical. As a defensive pistol instructor, I've had the opportunity to observe many different holster designs and configurations. And one thing is clear. Many of my students won't carry a pistol. Or worse, they'll carry one without a holster at all. Holster designers aren't making holsters for normal people. It seems that most holsters are either an expensive piece of gear designed for Rambo or a piece that doesn't fit or function the way real people need it to fit and function. So, like any good Texan, I decided to learn to form codex and design one myself, one that would fit the needs of average people. The result is the Rebel Road Tactical CRT Modular. The CRT stands for Carry, Range, and Training. Its thin and lightweight curved design minimizes printing and is adjustable to fit just right for superior comfort and function. Check us out after the show at rebelroadconcealed.blogspot.com.
If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan. This is the most transparent administration in history. Not even a smidgen of corruption.
Fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
If you got a business, you didn't build that.
The feeling most people get when they hear a Barack Obama speech, I felt this thrill going up my leg. I mean, I don't have that too often.
Steady.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. Ricky Robinson, host of America Off the Rails, will tackle the important issues facing America today as he tries to keep America from coming off the track. Get ready to hear the truth every Monday through Friday starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, here on K98Talk.com and the Spark Radio Network.
Welcome to the face. Welcome to the face of the new democracy.
Red Nation Rising brings you Town Hall Radio.
From a single tweet to 3 million a month, our community is a force to be reckoned with on social media.
So don't miss our show, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern on K98 Talk.
Our chat room is our co-host, and you ask the question.
Join us and be heard.
So get ready to sound off on Red Nation Rising Radio. No one else is going to do it for you.
There's a wild, wild whisper blowing in the wind, calling out my name like a long lost friend.
Are you conservative in a world of liberal?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're not alone. Hey, I'm Daniel Stafford, host of the Stafford Voice, and I'd like to invite you to tune in each Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern, where I'll break down the events of the week, and together we'll learn about how they affect you. So, sit back and get ready for the good, the bad, and the ugly of talk radio right here on K98 Talk.
And welcome back to Game On. This evening I have with me Rick Robinson, station manager here at K98 Talk, who JD and I are so grateful for. He's given us so many wonderful opportunities. And for those of you who joined us late in the broadcast...
Shame on you.
Huh?
I said shame on you for joining us late.
Shame on you. You're supposed to be here at 9 o'clock, gosh darn it. No, but seriously, what we announced earlier in the show is, as you know, JD is out on the West Coast. We also call it the Left Coast among all the liberals. And Slick has not had to go on a recon mission to save him yet. But yet he's got his go bag, though. He made sure I know that. But, you know, and Tina's still got the bail money. So all is good. No, neither one of them has gotten a phone call. But he, this evening, I believe, either as we're speaking or shortly thereafter, will be sitting down with Michael Loftus, not as a guest to the taping, but as the guest on the show. So you all can go to theflipsideshow.com, use that channel finder, and you can actually see our very own JD on stage with Mr. Loftus doing a back and forth and talking a lot about K98 Talk, hopefully talking about a cruise, and maybe even talking about some of our favorite folks in the chat room. So you'll just have to wait and see.
Speaking of which, since there are so many of you in the chat room, we've been trying really hard to get a couple of contests going, and I'm not getting much feedback yet. So for those of you listening right now, we have 2 contests running. You can enter either at the front page of K98talk.org. There's a fill-in menu where you can put in which contest you're interested in and your contact information. We are giving away T-shirts, bumper stickers in one contest, and you have your choice of a bunch of different stuff from Art is War, some really cool T-shirts, and some bumper stickers. And then, of course, we have Slickery Trigger, who is hanging out in the chat room right now, who has agreed to graciously donate 1 holster a month to a registered winner. So at this point, what we're trying to do to get as many folks interested as possible and get as much information to like Slick and the folks at Art is War, we're looking for the holster. You can put an email in once a day. We're going to keep going until we get to 150. For the T-shirts and the bumper stickers, we're probably going to drop that a little bit, so I'm just going to start trying to do that contest about once a day, and we'll probably start shipping them out to whoever sends me the 15th email, since that one's not quite such an expensive gift. You can do that through the sign-up sheet on the front of the website, or you can go to Rebel Road at K98talk.org is the email address for Slick's giveaway, and Art is War at K98talk.org is the email address for the other. As a reminder, sending your information does indicate that you are willing to be contacted by the providers in the event that you don't win about their products, and just to be forthcoming. But anyway, sorry.
Rick, you're being too honest.
Yeah.
You almost sounded like Joe the bullet magnet. No.
That you've not heard my backstory. That's not funny.
I didn't mean to bring that up as some sort of painful reminder. I really didn't.
I'm just kidding.
It was a joke.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. But so JD going to be on the home screen in 50 Million Homes with friend of the show, Michael Loftus. And you can find, as you know, JD and I here every week on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday with some Bloody Marys and broadsheets to end your week with a little bit of a giggle. And cannot wait for him to be back next Tuesday and tell us all about it. I mean, he talks a lot anyway, so I'm not even sure I have to dial in for that show.
I didn't think about
There's
that.
one word, edgewise. No, I'm just kidding. I love him. You know that. My bestie right there, and I couldn't be happier for him, and I couldn't be more angry with the guy who rear-ended me, so I couldn't be there too. Anyway.
Just tell us how you really feel. Go ahead. Don't hold back.
I'm as happy as I am when I get grits on my plate at breakfast, and I hate grits. Grits taste like white sandpaper. I don't like them with cheese. I don't like them with bacon. I do not like them with shrimp. And when I get them on a plate after I've expressly not asked not to have them, I get very upset at the waitress.
I do not like these grits, Sam.
Oh,
I do not like them even with eggs and ham.
Reminds me of that. Did your grandmother ever feed you that horrible stuffed cream of wheat?
Yes.
Oh my God, I hated it. And that's what grits and polenta. Ugh, yuck. Anyway, so tying up the debate, I have to say this, and I'm afraid everyone's going to leave the chat room and we will lose our entire listening audience.
In 3, 2.
I actually didn't think Chris Christie did a half bad job. If you're slightly inclined to vote for a progressive, he was pretty out there.
See, Christie's another one of those ones that comes off as the guy that knows everything that he needs to say in the right moment. My problem with Christie is I don't want anybody in the White House that can be bribed with Twinkies.
Donuts. That's
okay.
A soundbite. Time to make the donuts. No, it's I don't agree with the vast majority of Christie's politics. I don't believe that he really wakes up as a Republican in Democrat New Jersey. He wakes up as a center Democrat in far left New Jersey is kind of the way I look at it. I don't think his results within the state have been as stunning as he would like people to think. But I thought he did a very good job of even doing some of the things that the hosts wouldn't do. Like, hey, guys, we're all successful. That's why we're all up here. Quit taking pot shots and let's talk to the 55-year-old construction worker because he really doesn't care about your pissing match. I thought that, given the kind of tenor of that debate, was actually a really good insertion to make. And it looked like he was trying to take some command of the stage, which he hasn't really done up till now. And the opening, just to mention, I did have to laugh out loud. When there was the exchange between Donald Trump and Rand Paul, and Rand Paul ticked down the very reasons, nice non sequitur, this is sophomoric, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And Donald Trump came back with a comment about how he could make fun of Paul's looks. There was a lot of material there, pretty much proving everything Rand Paul just said.
Well, don't forget that...
I don't know how much more clear we could have been about, this is how this guy behaves. He's completely immature.
Yeah, and, don't forget, Ann Coulter jumped on that bandwagon, too. He may be a doctor, but he can't leave the house without checking his hair, apparently. Or something to that effect on her Twitter feed.
Seriously?
Yep.
He has curly hair. I would love to have curly hair. If I had curly hair like that, I would never use a blow dryer. That's called awesomely easy. Just go. But anyway, I'm a girl, so I don't know. No, but I think he did a credible job and did not realize Trump was an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah, that I didn't really realize that either. That was a little scary.
Yeah. I mean, he's up there. It was almost reminiscent of his birther stuff. I mean, the lengths to which he took the birther argument, I thought were ridiculous. At that point, the election, it's over, dude. Even if you find it at this point, what are you really going to do about it? I mean, he made so much noise about that. And to me, this sounds kind of like that. He's using, at best, corollary silence to talk about something he really has no familiarity with, and he basically got spanked by Ben Carson and Dr. Paul.
That was a visual I did not need. Thank you very much.
Oh, my God. Actually, my favorite tweet today was that, basically to somebody who'd written an article yesterday about how the candidates had to be prepared to, take him down. I said, hey, Rick, they must have read your article because the 10 of them together kind of ripped off Donald Trump's arm and beat him with the bloody stump.
Somebody had to do it.
But I really think they all came out there with some level of disgust as serious people in what should be a serious election. We have a lot of serious problems. The fact that we're having a reality TV election, I think, is offensive to some of them. And I think they just wanted to put it to bed. And I think they did a credible job doing it.
No, and you're right. I don't know. I think my thing with it is I've been kind of, there's no nice way to put it, I've been pissed off since the jump because Donald Trump has turned the presidential election into a reality TV series.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of
the
which...
media's letting him.
Speaking of
which, did you see who's replacing him?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring that up. The governor is now going to be the new head of the Apprentice TV show. So Mr. Anti-Immigration has lost his job to an immigrant.
Oh my God, I laughed, I rolled on the floor, and I said, oh my God, this is the definition of irony. So we have the fake Republican governor of California replacing the fake Republican presidential candidate, Donald Trump.
You know, it's a good move, though, kind of.
It was rich. It was rich. I laughed so hard.
I mean, not only that, think of the ratings they're going to get, because, I mean, come on, you know, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Not only that, but if they change the tagline to "You're terminated," they've got to win. I'm just saying.
I know. That's what it's no longer, "You're fired. You're fired." It's now, "You are terminated." Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but just the irony.
No, I read that, and I'm just like, are you serious? Are you serious? That is too rich in terms of irony.
Yeah.
The other ironic thing that came out this week, and it has nothing to do with the Republican debate. So, hey guys, that's a transition, all right? Did you see the statements by some moron on Hillary Clinton's campaign saying it is essential that the next president understands cybersecurity?
Hello, pot, meet kettle.
This from the woman who stood in front of an entire press conference when asked about wiping her server, said, "What, with a cloth?"
Well, you know, apparently it's come to light that it might not have been wiped either with a cloth or otherwise, which kind of puts holes all over her story.
And my favorite people, and if you guys do not read these people and do not follow their activities and do what they're doing, they're the only people that seem to be able to get any documentation from any federal agency. Judicial Watch came out today and said Hillary Clinton was actually instructed 4 months prior to the date of a request to wipe classified information from her server by a State Department employee. They have the letters. So what this tells us is all that like dog and pony show about did she or didn't she have classified information. The State Department was well aware she had classified information during that whole little song and dance.
Well, yeah, of course they were. I mean,
I got to believe there's like 10 people going down in this thing. Seriously. It won't be Clinton. You will never see her in an orange jumpsuit.
Well, we all know Clinton doesn't go down. Why else would Bill have needed Monica? I'm just saying.
Oh, geez, real? JD's not here.
Hey, did you think I was kidding when I said
fill the JD void?
Did you think I was kidding when I said the worse I behave, the more trouble he gets in, so I win regardless?
Oh my god! Oh my god! He's not even here, and still, did you hear? Ugh. Anyway, Hillary will not wear an orange jumpsuit. I will bet 10 people associated with her will, though.
Oh, probably. At least 10. At least. However, she will likely get away with it. I almost said something else, but that would have led to a whole other JD moment. Now, I'll restrict myself to one. I'll restrict myself to one.
Rick went total JD on me. How does that happen?
Hey, I was nice to you yesterday.
Oh my God, I've been here for 7 years. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. Anyway.
Hey, I was nice to you yesterday, and all I have
but that was your show. You're always nice on your show.
All I have to say in regards to me having a JD moment is this right here.
But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really. Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Hey, Farva. What's the name of that restaurant you like with all the goofy shit on the walls and the mozzarella sticks?
You mean shenanigans?
Oh!
You're talking about shenanigans, right?
Put those away!
Just because JD's not here does not mean there will be no shenanigans. Just saying.
I've been using that line so often on social media. And somebody always responds to me. I'll say, hey, do you suppose Donald Trump's shenanigans before the debate were tragic or sad and tragic? Of course not. Donald Trump is always cheeky and fun. Oh, okay. Terrific. So I'm starting to speak in sound effects. It's really scary. Anyway, so Hillary's team got a little silly this week, and yet again we find out that people knew what they didn't know way before we thought they knew it. But interesting little blip today in the Drudge Report says Joe Biden's PAC director was overheard on a train. Okay, guys, this comes down to the real problem with cell phones, because you talk on them in places you really shouldn't. Talking on the train in an elevated voice that he is 100% sure Uncle Joe is running.
Please run, Uncle Joe. Do you realize?
Run, Uncle Joe. We would have. I mean, Hillary is so much material. Uncle Bernie, so much material. Grandpa Biden, oh my God.
That would be like
Can
the
you imagine
trifecta of win for the next year. I'm just saying.
Oh my God, you wouldn't even need to prep for a show. You just go, hey, what did Joe say today? Like, the sound bites, amazing. Amazing. But the only reason, Rick, that Joe Biden is even contemplating running is because Hillary is having this, like, epic drop in the polls, like, on every dimension. It's not just that she's losing ground to Sanders. People don't like her. More people don't like her than used to not like her. More people don't trust her than didn't used to trust her. I mean, this is having such a profound effect on her candidacy that you're not going to believe what's going on this weekend.
I would probably believe you, but since I'm not sure I know what you're referring to, why don't you fill everybody else in at the same time?
The Sunday shows that Hillary has refused to be on for decades. Decades, I say. Guess who's going to be on Face the Nation on Sunday?
Orange pantsuit?
I hope she doesn't wear orange, because if she does, I am just going to have to laugh. But yes, Hillary Clinton, who has avoided the press like, I don't even know. Avoided the press like, most people would avoid the plague, is going on Face the Nation on Sunday because her campaign is in so much trouble, and her reboot, right, to being spontaneous that they announced, not going so well, and people still aren't buying that she's genuine and fun, because really, she's not.
Speaking of Hillary, we might as well throw this out there because I haven't had a chance to tell folks the kind of shirts and bumper stickers we have. I actually have several that say we've seen the enemy and she's wearing a hideous pantsuit. So if you're interested in grabbing one of those while I've got them to give away for absolutely nothing, just shoot us an email at the address I gave you earlier. Just saying.
I want one.
You want one?
I want one.
Send an email.
Send an email.
Just kidding. I already have your email. I'll just put you on the list.
I have 3 emails. Put them all on there.
Okay, cool. Works for me.
There you go. Anyway, I'm kind of looking forward to the continued spiral on the debates. Oh, and guys, in case anyone in the listening audience didn't know, I just have to put this out there because things like this really irritate me. And, folks have learned so much more about what irritates me being on with you the other day and Tuesday and everything else. Online polls don't matter.
No, they don't.
So when Donald Trump, the Wharton Business School graduate, and yes, guys, as an MBA, you actually do have to take classes in statistics, is out there saying he won the debate last night because a bunch of online polls said he did.
Do you realize how easy it is to set up an online poll?
You realize how easy it is to robo-vote on an online poll?
Yeah, that too. But that's what I'm
saying.
saying.
So it's not bad enough.
There's
It's
no
not
control.
bad enough that Putin has established Russian troll farms to troll conservatives in the U.S. about how awesome Donald Trump is, because he's like looking at that and saying that would be awesome, right? Okay. These folks are so smart that they don't know conservatives in the U.S. don't take Fox as a reliable source. Okay. So you can tell where they're coming from. They're not from here. Period. Okay. So not bad enough that we have obvious, scum like that out there. Now, sources and people who should know better, like Drudge, like Newsmax, put out these online polls like they made a frickin' thing. And then Donald, Wharton Business School graduate, who undoubtedly knows better, talks about how he won the debate by such a huge margin.
Oh.
Huh?
But I mean, like you said, they're taking data from online polls where you can basically click a button as much as you want to.
Online polls in elections should be outlawed. They mean nothing.
I don't necessarily know if they should be outlawed, but they shouldn't be something that should be being referred to by the presidential candidates going, according to these online polls, I won. Well, according to this online poll, you're a douche. I prefer mine.
I will wait for the next, who else? Quinnipiac, PPP, somebody else to do a poll in about a week so that the debate can sink in and all the counter arguments can be made. But I'll just wait a little bit because I'm predicting you're going to see probably significant movement again. And, the other person I didn't mention that I thought pretty highly of in that debate, I thought he showed more energy than he's shown in, like, the entire election because he is dangerously normal, was Scott Walker.
Yeah, I have to admit, he is, with the way everybody's talked him up and the fights that I saw him go through on his home turf and everything else, he's just been kind of another one of the ones that I'm just kind of watching him going, dude, when are you going to even show a spark of interest? And I finally saw a little bit of that last night, so who knows?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think he came out of the gate. He didn't end up getting a lot of time, which I find unfortunate. But I still think he's one to watch. I mean, you can't take away what he achieved in the state of Wisconsin. And, really what Donald Trump used was the leftist talking points the progressives used when they try to recall him. It's all nonsense. So, again, we got to help the low infos fact check people. Find your links. Get ready to tweet them out because I still have people stumping for Trump on my TL and telling me he won last night. And I honestly think the one-liner that made him look like the misogynist jerk he is was simply Carly Fiorina when she said, I think every woman in America heard what Donald Trump had to say and knew exactly what he meant.
All I can say about the Trump supporters is the Republicans are coming. The Republicans are coming.
I want a T-shirt. Can we talk to Artist War? And I want an anti-Retrumplican,
Actually,
I am not a Retrumplican.
You just gave me an idea. I might actually hit them up and see if they can put one of those together. All right. Well, at this point, we are actually just about out of time. Why don't you go ahead and tell folks where they can find
Rick,
you?
I got the keys. You ready to get out of here?
Yep. At least if that's what
All
this
right,
button does.
then. Well, a lot of stuff going on. Go to theflipsideshow.com and you check your local station so that you can see our own JD on the big stage with the local.
And I will be not back with you next week on this show because JD will be back talking about his trip to Hollywood. That is, if we don't have to send Trigger out to go get him. I'll be back with you probably Monday because I think I'm taking tomorrow off.
It's Sunday, kids.
That's right. I forgot. You guys are on Sunday. My bad.
I'm looking for you, you Occupy freaks with your glitter bombs.
I told you I had the glitter bombs.
Bring it on! Bring on the glitter. Everything has changed. Everything has changed in the last few years. Conservatives used to take it, and we're not taking it anymore.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Giggity, 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 let's have sex.